All right. So it is October 29th, our last Monday coaching call before the 90-day action plan ends. So I've got several things I want to go over with you guys today and hopefully get you primed and ready for next week, which is a shake drop week. So hopefully those of you that haven't hit your goals can gear up this week and nail it next week. That's my goal for you guys. So a couple of things I wanted to share with you. I am following, and I think I've told you about this guy, Ed Milet. Have I told you about Ed Milet? Can you see him? All right. He looks like an Isogenics guy. I found him in the funniest of ways. So I started stalking Rachel Hollis from Girl Wash Your Face because I'm obsessed with her. And I found an interview where he interviewed her, and he's not in network marketing. He is into investments and in the financial side of things. And he is kind of like a Lewis Howes, or he does all these interviews of all these successful people. So he's had great athletes on. Thank you so much. He's had all these great athletes on his show, and so he had Rachel Hollis on, and so then I loved him. So I've been watching a lot of his YouTube videos. So he's one of my go-to people now, and I love what I learned from him. So he did a lot of these people you follow on YouTube. They'll give you their book for free if you pay shipping and handling. This is a little quick read book, but I just want to share a couple of things with you from this that I've gotten, and then I'm going to encourage you guys to follow him too. But the first thing he talks about is the viruses in your mind. And you guys know I'm all about mindset, and so much of what we do, we know our basic skills. We know we have to be, talking to people, using the products. We have to be a product of the product. We have to teach people that. We have to duplicate our efforts. We know the systems that we have in place. But so much of what we can mess up on is in our mind. He says, your life becomes what your thoughts and beliefs have been. Are you going to be a scarcity thinker, always focusing on what you don't have? Or are you going to be an abundance thinker, always grateful for what you do have? Life is not about overcoming and struggling. That is a flawed mindset. I don't know about you, if you've ever thought this yourself, or maybe some people have come to you on your team and they're always struggling. They're always trying to overcome something, and they're just not living in that place of abundance. And we talk about abundance and gratitude an awful lot. It says, if you think you are constantly struggling or battling through adversity and difficulty, your mind will constantly attract struggles and battles to you. As difficult as it is to accept, you've allowed those struggles into your life because your mindset is flawed. And that's kind of like a kind of kick in the gut. But guys, just think about it. Instead, maintain the mindset of things are happening for me. My life is winning. It's filled with peace, happiness, and success. He really believes, and he teaches and preaches this, and we've heard it said different ways from different, Tony Robbins type figures, that things happen for you, not to you. So just like Tony Robbins will talk about, bad things that can happen, and you've got a choice. You can play the victim, like things happened to me, or you can act as if these things have happened for me. What can I learn from them? And guys, I've made every mistake known to man. I mean, I've done it all in this environment of network marketing. And I always look like, whenever there's a failure, whenever there's a mistake I've made, what can I learn from it and how can I move on from it? And then this part I thought was huge, and this will help in every aspect of our life, not just our business, but of course, this is where I'm really, really wanting it to help you, is in your business. You only get from life what you will tolerate. If the most important areas of your life aren't what you want them to be, you need to stop allowing that to continue. You've got to be the one to change it. Your mindset needs to change. It needs to accept more and expect abundance. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but the reality is we get what we tolerate. Tough stuff, but it's so true. Where you are now in life is the sum of the decisions you've made. The amount of money you earn, your career, your relationships, everything. If you don't hate your circumstances, you learn to tolerate them. Therefore, you make no changes because it doesn't bother you enough. There is a saying that good is the great enemy of great. It is so true. I was reading this, and so those of you that popped on late, it's called #Max Out Your Life. Ed Milet. I was reading this and I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, definitely kind of a slap in the face. You gotta, can you handle that? Our pastor at church often will say, when he gives you a message that's a little tough to hear, he'll say, y'all all right out there? Y'all all right out there? And that's what I want to say after reading this little chapter. Y'all all right out there? All right. And then the other thing he talks a lot about, and then we'll move on, is blissful dissatisfaction. And he said, this term may seem to completely contradict itself. So let me explain the flawed thinking I see so many struggle with. The first is intentionally delaying happiness until a specific goal is achieved. And we'll hear this even in this business. I'll be happy when I become a 6-figure income earner. I'll be happy when I hit 3-star golden circle. I'll be happy when I promote my first crystal executive. So he's saying here that this delays a person's ability to be happy for a future destination in time. The problem with that thinking is that you still must bring you to that destination. If you have never learned to be happy where you are now, you are likely going to remain unhappy wherever you go, no matter what you achieve. It is possible to be happy on the journey to your goals. Learning to be happy in your current situation is a prerequisite to a fulfilling life. And I know this, like what I'm telling you today, is nothing new that you haven't heard before. I mean, the reason I do our Monday night calls is to bring you guys the best leaders that I know of in the company that I'm close enough with that I can ask for help, that'll be willing to give us an hour of their time. And you'll notice I have everyone share their story, because I feel like if my story maybe doesn't click with you, maybe hearing one of their stories will click better for you. And then I always ask them, what are their tips? What are their tricks? How can we get something from each person that we interview on our Monday night calls that we can put into our own business? So for some of you, shout out, like, who have you really resonated with on our team calls? Have you had a leader that you heard her and you were like, for me, it was Susan Miller last week. Like, that was, oh, yeah. That's because you're a Boston girl. Yep. Anybody else? Who have we brought on? Whoop, echoing.
Alex was up.
What was that?
Alex is back. That was an echo.
Okay. Poor Alex. Gosh darn it.
Who have you brought on that we haven't learned a ton on is more the question, because there's so many that we've learned something. I have a book that I keep right next to my computer, and every time we have a call, I'm jotting down something from everybody. So there's a little piece of everybody. Like, I will never be a Tanya Kirkpatrick in my nature. It's not my personality, but I learn from her and I take what she's got, and maybe if it's like a one-liner or something, or just being able, if there were two people for sure that you knew would want to come along on this journey with you, that verbiage from Eden Slobin, I could not have known that had I not heard it on one of these calls. So
yeah. Awesome. And that's why I do them, because, I don't want to create clones of me. I want you guys to take the best of what you're seeing out there and what you resonate with, because, some of you probably think I'm too soft and probably relate better to a Kathy Savage, right? And some people might find her a little too harsh and might relate better to me because I'm sweeter, or whatever it is. So you'll hear different things from different people. And my best advice is just model what you love. So when I hear Hillary Courtney, for example, she's one of my all-time favorite people. So much so that, like, I'm actually in a group with her. She's leading a Bible study, and I'm doing that with her. Like, I absolutely love her. So when I hear her talk about what she does and how she moves her business forward, and that how many years later she's still going into people's homes doing parties, doing whatever you want to call them, sipping samples, launch parties, all of that. Now, not everybody does. A lot of the top leaders, like Susan Miller last week, I mean, wasn't she a hoot? She doesn't do that at all. She doesn't talk about products at all on her calls. So some of you felt like I got messages after last week's call, and I saw it in the chat box. I feel so free. I don't have to do sip and samples. No, you don't have to do it. What you have to do is find the leaders that you resonate with, that have what you want, and model yourself after them. That's it. And that's what I do. I don't compare myself. Now, I'm good friends with Trudy Maples. And in the beginning, Trudy, actually, when I first met her, I inspired her. I was ahead of her with executives. How many executives I had, I inspired her. Now, who do you think inspires who? Kind of flipped, right? She's soared right past me. So I don't look at her and think, oh, what am I doing wrong? Why is she growing so much faster than me? I'm like, all right, Trudy, what are you doing that I'm not? Like, what can I do and tweak moving forward so that I can get closer to my goals and my vision? And I don't look at it like, okay, I have just as much experience as her. Why is she growing so much faster than me? Does that make sense? I don't let myself go into negative comparison. I go into modeling. It's very, very different. It's such a twist on your mindset. When you're modeling someone, you want to be like them. When you compare with someone, it's almost like you're envious for what they have. Modeling is so much healthier. So who do you want to model? And so guys, I mean, I literally, I have like, on my vision board, I have people on that I want to model and be like in every area of my life. This isn't just Isogenic. So it might be my fitness. I might have someone I want to model after. It might be my nutrition, someone I want to model after. It might be my faith. It might be growth and personal development. It might be a top Isogenics leader. So whatever it is, that is the most important part. Model versus compare. All right. The other thing I wanted to make sure you guys are aware of is next Monday ends this 90-day action plan. So for most of you, I have your goals, what you said you wanted to do, on my whiteboard in my office. Has anyone achieved their 90-day action plan goal yet? Okay, me either. It's all good. We've been in a cycle, guys, of being flatlined. And that's why the company is rolling out incentive after incentive. And I don't want to take up time on this call talking about that. We'll talk a little bit more in the mastermind call. But what I want you to understand is you've got this perfect storm right now. Anyone still working for Disney? A few of you? Okay, so for those of you working for Disney, right now, you're gonna double dip. Anyone that you're enrolling this month is gonna count for both the iPad Pro, which if you don't have one, I just got one not too long ago. They're absolutely awesome. You can do a Zoom meeting on your iPad Pro and get the pencil for it, and you can map, you can write out, you share, they share on your iPad, and they can watch you writing it out. It is like awesome technology. So you'll love that, you guys. So everything that you're doing for that iPad is gonna still help you for Disney. If you create 4 new consultants this month, you'll earn Disney. I'm not kidding. If you enroll 4 people and they all enroll 2 people, there's Disney. So even if maybe Disney was like a complete long shot for you, by going for this iPad Pro promotion, you can earn both. All right. So I really want you guys to be focused on that. And then know that next week we've got a shake launch. So that's going to be huge in rank advancing. So for those of you, how many are going for like cycle promotions next week? Anyone? Just one? All right, so Alex, get your ducks in a row. I would just start letting people know next, to stay tuned. Next week, we're going to have a big announcement. You'll let them know what's going on. Stay on top of it. Maybe they'll give us a little bit of a heads up. You know about the pumpkin BOGO, buy one, get one on October 31st. So we can use that for this week to help with cycles for this week. But for next week, you're going to have the new shake, which is going to be a brand new shake. So I think that's going to be huge for us for cycling. All right. Any questions or comments?
Am I still echoing?
Not right now.
Okay. I think I figured out the problem.
Oh my gosh. Hallelujah.
I have a standalone webcam, and this is the cam on board in my Mac. And I think that's the problem. I think it's my camera, because it's been eluding me. But I wanted to chime in before, and then Gina was like, the echoes from Alex. So sorry about that. I know it's so annoying.
That's okay.
So we just got back from Express U, and I will say that it's the #1 event I've ever been to at Isogenics. #1, better than Celebration, better than NYKO. So Susan Miller spoke twice. She actually told us how she wasn't going to speak. She wasn't part of the lineup. And then Saturday morning, she got FOMO, and she got on a plane and she flew there. And she didn't really super resonate with me last week. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just late in the day and she wasn't on her game. I don't know. But she spoke twice this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. And we were just blown away by what she had to say. And she went into a little bit more detail about the products and how, like, listen, guys, I enroll everybody with products and I love the products, but it's not my focus. And so she's been, not when she was on the call, but she definitely is a speaker that I really resonated with this weekend. And then when James and Audrey were on, and they were speakers this weekend too. And I think hearing some of these people in different elements at different times, you really start to appreciate it even more. And I liked them when they were on with you, but I really liked it. And Trudy always resonates with me because of her comedy. I love her sense of humor. So
yeah. And you know what's so funny too? I'm sure you guys have heard this said too. Sometimes when you hear the same person, even giving the same message over and over again, like you hear it and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, you're speaking right to me. And it's because at that moment you're open to hearing what they have to say, when maybe the first time you heard them or the 15th time you heard them, you weren't. And so that's why it's just so important. I mean, I listen to people over and over again. And guys, I'll even go back to some of the team calls that I've done. I mean, I take notes on my own team calls. I prepare for them. I take notes on them. And sometimes I'll be in the car and I'll be like, you know what? That Hillary call was so amazing, or Trudy's call was so great. I'm going to listen to that. And then I'll hear something that I swear I didn't hear the first time around. And I think it's also because of where we are in our business, in our lives, that, you know, now we're really open to that message. But that's great. I know I had FOMO not being there, Alex. I've had so many trips. If I could have squeezed that one in, I totally would have. So I was excited to hear about it a little more on the Mastermind call.
Yeah, for sure. It was awesome.
That's great. That's great. All right. Any other comments or questions as we prepare for next week? What are you guys shooting for next week?
Well, I'll speak up. I have 2-star has eluded me for like 3 times now. Like every time I get to 18 cycles and then I just stop. The last time it really hurt me that they released shakes on a Thursday instead of a Tuesday, because I think if they had those extra couple days. But and I have 3 people gunning for consultant. So that's my focus, is to really build. I would like to build 2 consultants next week, but I'm hoping for 3.
That's awesome. And that'll probably help you with Disney too, big time.
Yeah. I'm right at 4,000 points. So I'm like, I'm not losing hope yet.
Yeah, I've got a ways to go too. And this is the thing, like, you know, my attitude is I'm going to try until the day the deadline comes. If for whatever reason I don't get it, then it just wasn't meant to be. On to the next thing. But I just never give up, ever, ever, ever give up. And even though, like I've shared with you guys before, Disney is not at the top of my wish list here. I mean, I want to earn it because I have team members earning it. I would like to see them at the park, and I'd like to be able to bring, Maddie's my one kid that's like, come on, I want to go to Disney. And she's about giving up on me. She was asking me every day what my points were. And when they weren't getting above, 4,000, she's like, oh my gosh, we're not going to earn it. And I'm like, Maddie, we're almost to 6,000 now. She's like, we only have 2 weeks left. Bree knows, Maddie. Yeah, she's a little pistol. But now with this iPad, I'm like, all right. And I just got an iPad, so I don't even need that. But I'm like, all right, who knows? Maybe I can return it to the store and get something else, get an iWatch. Who knows? If not, I'll give it to one of the kids for Christmas. They'll be thrilled. But I'm going to go for it. So it's not what it is so much as going for something and having something to go for, but getting your people excited about it. So what I would be really thinking about, you guys, as we're going to be moving and growing into, my book is out of my hands, but that 45-second presentation book we've been talking about, and we start this new business group we've been talking about, because we want your people to come in to really be well-trained for the business. What we're going to be doing with that book is talking completely about the business. So like, I'm planning a Super Saturday, November 17th. It's all business, a little bit of products. And that's, I think, what was a little misunderstood with Susan Miller last week, Alex, because I had a couple people reach out to me and they're like, oh my gosh, she doesn't even talk about products. Like, how can she grow a business? That's not it at all. Her point is, products are proven. Science has proven them. They work. She doesn't spend time convincing people that the products work. She spends her time educating people on how to get paid. And that's, I think, going to be where our future lies, and really growing our team and our momentum is going 3 level deeps is what the 45-second presentation is. So I find 5 people to share with, teach them to find 5 people, teach them to find 5 people. And that's how you grow your team to an unbelievable rate. And so tonight, we'll talk about this a little bit on the next call. Jimmy Smith's call is going to be pretty similar. He's going to take us down kind of the same path. But it's so true about teaching our team to enroll. We can be the top enrollers in the whole entire company, but if it's not duplicating, we're going to eventually run flat. Like Susan Miller was saying, and I had a good conversation over the weekend with a friend that's really struggling in this business. And when I gave her the link to Susan Miller's call so she could watch it. And when she heard Susan Miller enrolled 200 people and has 100,000, she about died. And the reason that's happened is because she's created massive duplication in her organization. It's not because she's an unbelievable enroller. It's because she has created this team of entrepreneurs that want to teach their people to make money, not just get their products paid for, but to make money in this industry. And it's so powerful. So yeah, that's another one I'll be watching over and over again is Susan's.
And I'm looking to promote 2 consultants as well. I've drawn out the U+2 6 times in the last 12 days. I mean, anybody that's even near me is now officially in trouble. So I mean, I had a networking meeting this morning with a guy that does send out cards, and he left going, I just started. I can't jump ship yet. I'm like, I wasn't even asking you to. I'm just telling you what we do. And he's going to enroll his girlfriend. So
that's fabulous. Yeah. And that was, who was it? Was it Laura Stevens that was saying that every single person she talks to, she literally draws it out? It's Laura Stevens. And I'm guilty of that, not doing that. Like I'll tell people about loyalty rewards and referral rewards, but I don't always draw it out. So that was a shift I'm making as well, drawing it out for everyone just so they can see it. It's very powerful for people to see that. And the first napkin presentation in this book, the 45-day presentation, is incredibly powerful. And Jimmy Smith does just about the same thing a little bit differently. So I'm sure we'll be seeing that tonight on his call. All right, guys, any other questions or anything that we can help with today? Come on, last call. Everyone's good? All right. Well, we've got a couple minutes to grab a cup of coffee before the mastermind call. We'll see you guys there. And I want to hear from you. If you need any help next week, anything at all, please say the word. I definitely want to see you guys crushing your goals next week and having a good cycle week. And just know that, as a company overall, the reason they're doing promotion after promotion like this is to get us back into that growth and momentum. And I did see a really good video from a gal from Australia. I cannot think of her name, and I haven't figured out how I can get it to our business page yet because it's in a Facebook group. So I've got to figure that out. But Kathy Coover had her do a video because so many leaders are not growing right now. And there's a lot that are in panic mode. Those of you that have been in the industry, we have cycles. And this happens where, we'll go up for a while and then we'll come down for a bit and we go up and we go down and we know how to ride that out. Well, people without network marketing experience, they don't know that and they panic. And so she had this gal do a video and it was really great. And I took a bunch of notes on it, but she talked about, it was kind of the same message about duplication. And so I'm going to try to figure out how to get that video from the 8-star group into ISA for Wealth today. I'm sure I'll be able to get that done for you guys today. And I'll put it in the mastermind group too, just so you guys know what I'm talking about. And you can tag your people in it, but very powerful on how even in times of where we're feeling flatlined and maybe things aren't going the way that we want, what we can do that we have control over so that we can get back into that growth mode without wasting too much time. And I feel like we're just, we're just coming to the end of that flatline period. And all these incentives that they're doing are preparing us for this big announcement at New Year's kickoff. And then we'll see that huge soar. So I'm not saying we're not going to start soaring before the holidays. I kind of feel like we're here now. So we're going to start to see it, but I know you guys know after the holidays what happens to our business. So we'll be prepared for that and then we'll be able to ride that out. So if you guys have any questions or need anything, just reach out and I'll see you guys in just a couple minutes.